Welcome to Retrained Search, the podcast where we lift the lid on what it's really like to work retained, discuss the stories we've gathered along the way, and give you all a peek behind the scenes of our amazing community and how they're getting ahead. Hello everyone. Welcome to Retrained Search, the podcast. I think that's what it's called, is it?
Episode 3.
3. And it's not just me and you, George, today, is it?
No, we've got a guest.
We've got our newlywed with us, haven't we, Sarah? Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
When we say we've got a guest, it's like when I go back to mum and dad's house, it's like, am I a guest or is it really my house? It's like really my house, isn't it? It's a bit like that, Sarah. She's not really a guest.
No, absolutely not. What have you been up to, Sarah? Where have you been hiding?
Oh, where have I been hiding? Well, I got married. So you've not even said my official name now. You could be the first person to publicly officially say my name.
Welcome to the Retrained Search podcast, Sarah Chester Nelson. There we go. What a wedding it was.
We already told everyone last week about me winning the gun shooting and the archery. So if you're going to talk about all that stuff, they're already up to date.
So
I already know.
I just want to say did you get about the owl doing the rings?
Oh no, we didn't talk about that. Did we?
did.
Okay. So
the owl.
The owls
and the ring.
And the ring, like delivering the rings. But yeah, I guess if you've already spoken about that. After that, I went to Thailand for my honeymoon.
How was Thailand?
Oh, so
Claire
good.
said she enjoyed watching the updates. There was some stuff that went on in hotel bookings and stuff. Or was it
the joys of having a TV producer husband is and his one and only hobby being creating content is he was filming all of the time, and you just have to deal with it. So I think I was in a few videos as well, but yeah, every time we got to a new hotel he liked to do a tour of what the hotel room looked like and was using all these fancy effects. So he had a whale of a time. He would do that, and then we'd be lounging around the beach, and I'd be reading a book as a normal person would, and he'd just be on his phone editing these videos. But I mean, whatever makes you happy, I guess.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Sarah, one thing I did figure out is your metabolism is through the roof. Because I saw one of the videos, which was a video of you having breakfast. I say breakfast, that implies it's singular. You having about 6 breakfasts. And I spent the next week thinking, how is she so skinny when that's her breakfast?
What's
That's
funny
because
is
she lifts her body weight in weights twice a week.
I was going to say, it did actually help me yesterday. I have put some weight on, but I told everyone at weightlifting, because I go and do Olympic weightlifting, and everyone was like, oh, that's amazing, you'll be able to lift more. And I was like, oh yeah, I will. So that's a positive, I think.
Let me tell you, if weightlifting is based on weight, I would be world champion.
I have told you before, you would be really good at weightlifting if you gave it a go.
I actually got our weights down out of the loft recently because I was inspired by you weightlifting. It's good for your bone density and stuff, isn't it? And
yeah.
I keep breaking my ankles and stuff, so I thought I should probably do that.
Hang on. No, let's not just skip past that. I keep breaking my ankles and stuff. I've now worked for Retrained for nearly 2 years, and I'm yet to see you walking with a broken ankle.
I have walked with a broken ankle. I broke it on holiday. I didn't know it was broken and walked around with a broken ankle for 2 weeks. That's how hardcore I am. That's how high my pain threshold is, which it isn't at all, so I don't know how I managed to do that, but I did. So what about you, George? What have you been up to?
I've been full of man flu and lurgy.
Yeah, you have. You've been complaining a lot.
I had an awful headache. Cheers for the sympathy, Lou. I had this awful headache and then spent the weekend at the Formula One, which is the worst place you could probably be with a headache. But we move. We're good. I survived. I'm still here. Changing lives. One at a time.
I was going to ask you to tell the story about the Formula One, but then I remembered that you told me 2 stories about the Formula One, and one of them isn't a very nice story. So maybe maybe we shouldn't tell that. You want that one?
I'm going to tell it. The guy in the white pants.
Yeah.
So on the Friday night, we'd been to like they have like evening entertainment on, and we were walking back to where we were staying, and there was this guy who was insanely drunk, yeah, like hobbling around in front of everyone, stumbling over, wearing a pair of bright white pants, which I at the time thought, it's a bold choice, a pair of bright white pants, but each to their own, no problem, that's fine, and all was good. Himself.
Oh, God.
True story. Not kidding. Yep. The white pants weren't white for much longer. Everyone could see it.
So disgusting.
Yeah, and he was stumbling around trying to shake everyone's hand. Yeah, not good.
So gross.
The moral of the story is don't drink too much, kids. And if you are going to drink too much, don't wear white pants.
Wear white pants. But the reason that we got onto that story is because I had white jeans on, didn't I, yesterday? And we were talking about that because my daughter said that did I know what wearing white jeans meant? You know what wearing white jeans means?
I don't
Ben,
think.
producer Ben, Sarah, and do know. Jordan know because we were together yesterday. But do you know what? I know no one can hear Ben, but do you know Ben what wearing white jeans means? Did she? It means you're a apparently. Yeah, that's what it means. So thanks, Emily, for sharing that with me.
Yeah,
And I told him that story, and then he told me that story. So we've been swapping our awful stories. Maybe the language will get bleeped out there.
And you're about to go to Sorrento, right?
Oh my God. I've got everything packed. It's in the suitcases. My only problem is it won't all... Like, I have more stuff to put in the suitcases and now no room. No room. So I am a little bit stressed because we're going tonight. Well, this afternoon, actually. But I am very excited to be going with my brother. And we're taking my mum for her 70th, staying in a villa outside Sorrento. And there's loads of stuff like boat trips and everything that everyone's planned. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Any of you wondering what happens when you move from contingent to retained? You get to go to Thailand and Sorrento.
Yes, you do.
It's unbelievable, honestly.
Yes, you do. So, moving on to what's been happening with our members this week, because it's time for Win of the Week. So I wanted to share with you...
We should have like a little jingle.
Yeah, we should have a jingle, actually. We'll get one. Producer Ben's going to sort that out for us. Thank you, Producer Ben.
For now, maybe me and Jordan, we go, Win of the Week. There you go.
We'll record you singing that, Sarah.
We'll work it out.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen, guys. Is that all right?
Brenda, she's killing it.
Again. So I was only just trying to read this before because I haven't seen this yet. Hey all, I was given guidance to build out a process for our internal team and it's been incredibly helpful. We put all of the steps in Trello. Love Trello. It's like Asana, isn't it? I think we experimented with Trello before we put Asana in. So everyone knows what they're responsible for and when. We're now into steering call meetings, but this one's going so smoothly thanks to this. So just wanted to share in case you're feeling like you're on repeat, trying to remember the process, build out the system, apply it, duplicate it. It works marvellously. I love that word, marvellous. Now, we just need to get more meetings and more opportunities. It's coming, I have no doubt. I have renewed confidence in our delivery too. Such a relief when you're actually getting paid for all this work. That is nice.
Yeah.
I like process. We love process, don't we?
Well deserved, that was all right. She's so studious. Done brilliantly well.
And now I'm going to find the other one. Did you see that change there?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me just try this again then.
Coach and retain than technology.
So rude. Okay, how about that?
Yeah.
It's John. John says, I haven't read this one yet either, and no way I could have delivered the retained search without your programme. It's funny, isn't it? Because some people come to us because they aren't sure how to sell it, and some people have already sold it, but they've screwed up the delivery basically, and they don't really know what they should be doing. And it sounds like that's the bit that's helped John the most. Right now, I'm trying to niche down my business with the medical device arena space. He's got obviously a lot of experience in there, 20 years plus, and as a result, I'm in client acquisition mode, sorting out my BD focus, where to spend my time, and then pivoting to retained. He's just deciding whether to pivot to retained or head straight in at higher level, pitching retained over only. Very exciting. But the first step is learning how to win and deliver your first projects, and then you can progress from there. So I'm so pleased.
Way down deliver is the key, right? Like you can't.
Certainly is.
If you want to build something scalable and consistent, delivery is just as important as the win in the business. I found that out very early on. Yeah.
So just inspiration for those of you out there that think, oh, it's slow or nothing's happening or you can't maintain in this market, then that's bollocks, basically.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to beat that one out then. Okay, what we've been helping people this week. So I like this bit because we get to share behind the scenes what's been going on, what we've been working on in our coaching calls. But I thought I'd come to you first, Sarah, because so far our listeners don't know what you're up to and what you've been doing. So could you give us a glimpse behind the scenes in your world?
Yes, well, interesting that you mentioned Brenda, actually, because I have been helping Brenda. I was just reviewing her website. Basically, she's had her new website done. She followed the kind of the guideline that we recommend in terms of saying exactly who you are, identifying the problem. We very much advocate the story brand framework. So she's done that. She just wanted me to have a look at it. And yeah, there was just a few technical bits, like the copy was great, but there was just some little technical things, like it wasn't optimized for mobile. So we were having I kind of did a video on that rather than writing some notes. I find that easier. And then I had a catch-up call with one of our marketing members, Kata, as well this morning. That was very interesting because I've not spoken to her for a while because obviously I went to Thailand but she was away as well. And last time we spoke, we were talking about this email.
You mentioned going to Thailand one more time.
Sorry. So I went to Thailand, I don't know if you know. But yeah, she had been away as well. So last time we spoke, she was like implementing this email campaign to completely cold prospects. She wasn't like getting much back, but we kind of made some improvements and talked about, well, basically to persevere, and people won't convert on the first email, but once they've seen a few of your emails, they will. And she had some really good responses back, actually, to the point where she kind of forgot to mention one of them and said it in the conversation. So that was really cool. So like the last time we spoke, she was having nothing, and then this time she had so much she kind of forgot to mention something. So
so good. So what did you see, if you can let people like get a glimpse into what kind of work that you might do there?
So we just went super as much as you can when you're sending emails to a bulk list, but we kind of went personalized. So they were all in a particular industry. So we mentioned that. We actually made the decision as well because all of the emails come through Kata, so not like the founder of the company. She's the marketing manager, and we decided that she should own that piece and tell people a little bit more about her. And also we stripped some of it back as well. So when we first started looking at it, she had made some really beautiful looking like newsletters and emails. But we discussed the fact that the more like images that you add to your email, the easier it is that, well, the more likely it's going to get blocked in people's inboxes, get stuck in junk mail, especially when you're sending to business email addresses, which most of us are. So we decided to remove that, to really strip it back and go for like an email that essentially looks just like an email and was coming from a person, not a faceless business. And then weaving in some case studies as well, some areas of success that they've had previously, and just asking if they are having that same that same problem too. So yeah, we're about 4 or 5 emails in.
So how come you know so much about marketing, Sarah?
I was a recruiter. Previous to that, I did a short stint as a graphic designer, and that's my degree is graphic design and advertising. So I was exposed to marketing then. But although I'm not that old, that wasn't around the time where like digital marketing was really a thing. Like we had Facebook, but there was no such thing as like advertising.
Changed a lot in a short space of time, hasn't it?
No one was on LinkedIn. It was around the time where there was LinkedIn, but there wasn't even a newsfeed on LinkedIn. And yeah, I became a graphic designer after I graduated, but decided that kind of wasn't the role that I wanted to do, and I moved into the world of recruitment. And I worked in recruitment for a few years. One of the roles I had in recruitment was recruiting for marketing people, specifically like digital marketing, PPC and SEO. And it was just having conversations with candidates and hearing about all this like new stuff, which was not around when I went to uni. It was just so interesting to me, to the point where I was like, I want to know about this. So while I was working in recruitment, I started doing a course with Google alongside that. So I spent all my free time learning about marketing, and then I was very fortunate that I managed to get a role as a marketing manager at a retained recruitment business, and learnt a lot there and progressed. And as the digital marketing will progress as well, I will say sometimes it's the time and place as well. So I had started getting into marketing around the time that digital marketing was becoming a big thing, but not only that, like the paid advertising was, and that was massive in e-commerce and products and B2C, but it wasn't a thing in recruitment. So I came on the cusp of when it started becoming a thing in recruitment, because that's essentially what I started to do. So yeah, that's how I know.
And in all fairness, like, I'm asking you, how come you know so much about marketing? But the reality is that most of you are probably listening to this because of you, Sarah, right now.
Yeah.
Because however you've heard about this, the chances are it's probably because of Sarah and the work that you do for us.
Could be my international following as well, though.
What did you say, George?
It would just be my international following. I've got.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah, it could be that.
We were. I will say we weren't on the map until Jordan Taylor joined us. I will say that.
Sensing sarcasm there, Sarah. Just a little bit of it. Just a little bit of sarcasm. That's fair.
No, I mean, marketing.
You do all our stuff, don't you? A lot of people say to us when they come on the calls, and Jordan, you say this a lot as well, is they say, I just want to ask you, like, who does your marketing? Or your marketing's amazing. Like, almost every call, every other call, someone says that to me. So that's another reason why you know so much, because you're literally doing it every day, aren't you? All day, every day.
I'm very operational still. I think it's very important to still know what's going on and keep ahead of all of the changes, because digital marketing changes so much as well. And I have been exposed, when I was in recruitment, I could really tell marketing candidates, senior marketers who knew the talk, knew the strategy, but didn't understand the inner workings or the technicalities of how stuff worked, compared to the ones that actually understood the doing as well as the strategic side. And I think that's very important, to still keep doing the physical marketing piece as well as just the ideas piece.
I mean, I'm reluctant to blow smoke up your arse after your little comment about my following, but I'm going to do it anyway. I think one of the things, Sarah, that I've noticed is I joined Retrained, and my impression of marketing was quite fluffy. So I'd worked for recruitment businesses in the past that had marketing teams, and they created lots of nice stuff that looked pretty, but actually it didn't generate anything tangible. Whereas actually that's the biggest difference I've seen since working closely with you, is if there's a plan and it's put in place in the right way and it's applied in the right way, that it actually can generate consistent, tangible results. You know, and actually Lou says, a lot of people say, who does your marketing? What actually people say to me is, when I ask them how we come about talking, is they say, I see that woman all the time, everywhere I go. I just can't avoid that woman.
People say that to me as well. You're following me around, like, you're everywhere I go. And I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry about that. But it's you that's responsible for that, Sarah. And that's not a bad thing, right? That's a good thing.
No.
And now there's been so much demand from people joining our program and learning how to transition to retained and how to win their work on a retained basis, then saying, I want to be able to market like you do. And that's how you've been pushed, forced, strong-armed, cornered into producing your marketing course, which is now in the beta stage. So everyone out there should be getting very excited. It's not publicly available yet, but it's module 3 in progress at the moment. My first 2 modules are already released.
Yeah,
definitely. Is that right?
Yeah, and it's true. I guess I was always doing the marketing for Retrained Search, and back in the day when it was just like me and Lou, we were very heavily involved with the members, and we still are, and people would ask about our marketing, and inevitably, like, I've got the experience in marketing and specifically in recruitment as well. I'd end up speaking to them because I want to help the members however we can, and it almost just happens so organically that we realise actually people, once they start learning how to sell and deliver retained search successfully, like, they want more opportunities, they want more like opportunities to pitch, and that's where the marketing aspect comes in, because you know you want people to come to you as well and say, yeah, like we're looking for some help. So yeah, it's funny because it's not something that I ever envisioned doing, but it's just become this thing because everyone was asking me so many questions about it regularly that it made sense to kind of put my process and my experience into a course and a membership where people will be able to like ask me questions as well and dedicate a bit more time to that as well.
Well done. One of our mastermind members just recently watched it because they get access to the beta. Rob, he messaged me and said, it's incredible. I want my marketing person in there. Please, can you let her in? So I hope you don't mind, but we've just let Abigail in. Sarah, he absolutely loves it. So I know it's early days and it's still being built, but it's going to be insane. Oh, it is. Okay. And shall we share what we've been helping people with too, Jord?
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to help myself over man flu, so I think you've been helping more people than me the last few days.
No, I've been helping people with people in the mastermind group that I've been helping have been wanting to go up the value chain. There's been a lot of momentum in the direction of the C-suite. Basically what happens is once you learn how to win and deliver your work on a retained basis, not only do you want more opportunities, and then you start getting more opportunities and that starts to come, then you realise that the amount of work that you do for a 60, 70k position is the same amount as the work that you do for a 150k or a 200k position, but the fee, of course, is double. And they see people around them in the group doing exactly that and working at those bigger levels, and they're like, but I'm just like him or her, I can do that too. If they can do it, then I can definitely do it. How do I get up there? And so that's what kind of is a bit of a spiral of momentum that sort of fuels itself in the group. And so I've been helping those that are maybe a step or two behind some of those that are more advanced to move in that direction. And one of the key things that I'll share from doing that and having done it myself is one of the biggest tricks that people miss and the easiest fixes is to tell your clients that that's what you do. So when they're going out and they're having their meetings with their clients, for example, instead of talking through how we help people with these types of positions and that we put in place this process and this is what it looks like, is to say, yes, we do this for mid to senior level positions, but we also carry out C-suite board, non-executive and executive appointments and apply a full executive search process, which includes formal referencing, behavioural profiling and face-to-face interviewing or whatever it might be. And just by saying, this is what we do, you plant the seed. In fact, I can still remember sitting in virtually the reception of an M&M director. I don't know whether you know that retail company. It's a long, long time ago, so I'm not giving anything away that's sensitive. But I remember sitting in the reception of one of their warehouses talking to the operations director and saying exactly that. And we'd gone to pitch for a cluster of volume, fairly mid-level positions. And I just explained, and by the way, when it's senior, C-suite or non-exec, then we apply this process. And he just sort of looked at me and went quiet, and I finished explaining what we do and give us some examples of work. And then at the end he said, I didn't know that you did executive positions. And so I said, oh, yeah, of course we do. And he said, I've got a project I want you to sort of forget that. We'll talk about that. That's fine. You can have that. I want those sorted. I've got confidential projects I want to run by you. And there's no way in this world we would have got anywhere near it if we hadn't have said, this is what we do. And it's one of the biggest things that people miss out. So that's one of the things that we've been weaving in. Of course, talking about it earlier on in the marketing process also helps as well, and sharing more senior level case studies. And we're working on that too. But that's one of the things that I've been concentrating on this week with my guys and girls.
There's been a theme actually in our foundation course where I've noticed that a lot of our members are finding themselves having to pitch 2, 3, 4 times at the moment.
You might have lost Jordan.
Oh, it's bad.
What's the theme that you've had in the foundation course, Jordan?
Producer Ben, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. There you know.
Right now.
Very strange, sorry. So there's been a bit of a theme over the past week or two that I'm finding some of our members are now having to find themselves pitching 2, 3, 4 times to win projects with different stakeholders. Yeah. It's interesting because I wonder whether it directly correlates to a settling of the market a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
being more cautious.
More cautious when people are dealing with a lesser volume of positions. It means they can spend more time focusing on what is the right solution to solve the problem, who is the right solution to solve the problem. And I just reassure people out there that are listening that isn't a bad sign, right? If you're pitching 2, 3, 4 times, if anything, it tells me that there's opportunity there, that they like what you're saying, that they're engaged, that they're interested.
And the best clients are the ones that are careful about who they work with. They care about who they work with, and they want to work with people that fit well with them.
And I would much rather me be pitching to another stakeholder than someone I've already pitched to pitching.
Yeah, trying to sell it on your behalf.
Say or can't answer the questions.
Absolutely agree. I couldn't agree with you more. Go back in as many times as you need to. Always be happy. Even offer it, suggest it. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and we've had a bit of controversy this week, haven't we, George? There's been a bit of an update on... Look at your face. Go on, tell everyone what's been happening.
I got told off on LinkedIn by a few people, right? And
you got told off. You don't like getting told off, do you?
No, I'm just a misunderstood soul, is all I am. So I think we mentioned on the last podcast about this lady in David Lloyd sitting next to me, a recruiter who evidently had a pretty bad morning because I overheard a couple of candidates dropping out, meant to be starting the next day, family issues, couldn't start. All of that normal contingent rigmarole that we're all far too used to. So I put a post on LinkedIn about it, saying I'd said to our team how proud I am when I hear conversations like that we get to help people move away from that and win the work on a retained basis and get commitment and get financial security. And I think some people took it as I was taking the mick out of this poor recruiter. And
well, you posted it on LinkedIn, didn't you? We encouraged you to post it on LinkedIn, and then,
yeah, and I think they misunderstood the tone, because the reality of it is, what I was saying is, I've been there. I remember those phone calls. I remember how demoralising it is. So the last thing I would do is take any humour in another recruiter's misfortune when that happens. But I will continue to take the piss out of the contingent recruitment model for the rest of my days, because I wholeheartedly believe that there is a better way. And I believe that contingent recruiters like that lady can win their work in that way. and people say the grass isn't always greener. Well, let me bloody tell you from someone that went to the other side, it is absolutely greener.
Did I share last week about the guy who told me that it was affecting his mental health? I don't think I did, because it was very recently I had that call. A guy called Gareth, I actually used to, well, I've worked with Gareth many, many, many years ago in a big company where he was in a completely different division to me, so we didn't do the same thing. And he has now, come to us. He is campaigning to have his employer help fund the training for him. And he's been in the contingent world now for 15 years. And he said very clearly it's responsible for a decline in his mental health. And I was the same, and so were you. And so I wholeheartedly support you, not condoning or taking the mick out of the contingent model. And it definitely wasn't her that you were.
No. And actually somebody said, I think on the post, that if there was an unlike button, I would click it. Guess what, Lou?
There isn't.
There isn't one.
So funny. Well, you've done well to share what you've shared with us today, George, given that you're so so poorly. Yeah. So thank you.
I'm good, don't worry.
And thank you to Sarah for sharing glimpses behind the scenes in your marketing world. We'll have you back if you'll grace us with your presence again.
Lovely, yes. Thank you.
Okay, good.
Next time we'll be sure to do it when you've not just come back from Thailand.
Yeah, or anywhere nice that you can boast about.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe do it after Dubai.
But before we go, after Dubai, yeah, that's a good idea. We're all going to Dubai, aren't we, when I get back from Amalfi? Just go, jet setters.
The retained lifestyle.
Producer Ben, you look like you want to tell me something. Oh, Producer Ben's not going to Dubai. That's why I knew. I could see the look on his face then, looking dejected. It's because you've got children to look after. You shouldn't have had children. It's all that procreating, this biting you.
Well, let me tell you, it's not. It's 45 degrees out there, and that bald head of yours is not going to do well in 45 degrees of heat.
You need to get the fat.
It's all right. We can keep Ben in the bar. Just feed him with beer, and he can entertain us. Next time, Ben. Before we finish, though, we've got a minute on mindset, haven't we? And with your permission, Jordan, I'd like to share what I shared yesterday at our team day from a show that I was listening to a couple of days ago by one of my favourite radio DJs, Chris Evans. I know that might be controversial because some people don't like him. He's a little bit like Jeremy Clarkson, isn't he? Some people like him, a bit Marmite. But I do. I don't like the way he's mean to Vassos, but I do like him on the whole. I think he's well read and well informed. Anyway, he shared that we are, and this is a message to help you with wherever you are right now, whether things are going well or whether things are not going so well. Whether you've just had something happen that isn't ideal and that you're recovering from it, or whether things are a bit tougher at the moment, or even if you're in a happy place and that's a good place, wherever you are in your life, world, work, family, career, mental health, everybody, and he shared that everybody is exactly where we are meant to be right now. So whatever's happening to you, whatever you're going through right now is part of your journey, and you will look back and be grateful for, because it will take you to wherever it is that you end up. And so everybody is exactly where they should be right now. So panic not. Hopefully that will give you a bit of comfort. It gave me a lot of comfort, because I feel like, people know a little bit about my personal situation. I'm going through a divorce at the moment, so I'll share that for those of you that don't know. And it's hard. It's really hard. But I'm sure in time, I'll be in a place where I'll be glad that I've been through what I've been through, and I've learnt good things, and I've had good.
I think, more generically speaking, Chris Evans gives everyone in life hope.
Oh, that's nice. He's from Warrington, isn't he, George?
Centre of the universe, Warrington. We've got the Golden Gates. You should come. You should all come sometime. But the reason I say that is because every time someone talks to me about Chris Evans, the first thing I think is, if he can pull Amanda Holden, then there's hope for all of us in life.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we should.
That's true.
Dating history, really.
Yeah. Fair. Maybe maybe it's a more an Amanda Holden thing than a Chris Evans thing.
Okay, well, on that note, thank you very much.
I totally brought the tone of your Minute of Mindset right now. Sorry.
I don't mind. Everyone can take from that whatever they want. The fact that Les Dennis is as successful as Chris Evans, or the other way around, based on Amanda Holden. Or that we're all exactly where we should be. I don't mind which you take, or none of it. It's been a joy. It always is. Thank you so much, Jordan. Sarah, thank you for being such a wonderful guest. Thank you, producer Ben, and thank you to all our lovely listeners. Hope you're enjoying it.